All right, welcome to another episode of Comedians in Bed. And as always, I like to give a quick introduction before we start the episode. Now, our next guest comes from Chicago, one of the largest comedy cities there is in the US. Not only that, he produces and creates his own show called The Corner Classic, which is amazing. Not only that, he's freaking hilarious, man. He's a stand-up comic that doesn't stand when he does comedy. He sits down in the stool. Everybody, let's go ahead and give a round of applause for the hilarious Dave Bradley, everybody. Give it up for Dave Bradley. What's going on, man? How
I
you doing?
appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, man. I'm good, man. Life come with it and you roll with it and you keep going with it. So I'm good, bro.
Man, you look just like your mama, man. I seen
I
the
do.
picture. I
I
seen the
do.
pictures. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that because I know
I
you hear that
do.
all the time.
Man, for real. All my life I've been hearing it. And now like my son looks just like her. Like it's crazy.
Is that your only kid?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Fatherhood. How's that going for you?
Amazing, man. It's amazing. The good, and I don't say like the bad, but like the less good
Yeah.
moments. Uh it's all part of it. You enjoy it, man. Like I'm tired right now. He teething and shit, so that's annoying, but like it's my son, you know what I mean? So
How
so
old is
it's
he?
cool. 10 months.
Oh, okay, fresh. Okay. He's
Yeah,
about to
10 months.
experience his first Christmas.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
up, man.
His birthday that same week, so it's gonna be real interesting.
Oh, really? What day is his birthday?
12/21.
Man, I know he's gonna be great because my birthday's on Christmas too. You know, we do
Hey,
great things, man. In the month
hey,
of December.
shout out. How did that go for you, like growing up?
Man, so everybody think it went bad, but it actually went good because my parents, they was just cuddy buddies, and so I had two of everything. I go to my dad's house, I had a scooter, I had a PlayStation, and
Okay.
I asked my mom for the same thing. So I had two of everything. So I loved it. But now as an adult, I hate
Mm.
it because it's like the concept of me giving people something on my birthday is ridiculous
Ah,
to me. It's
yeah, that sounds
ridiculous.
okay. That's
So I
interesting.
think I think going forward, like when me and my girl we about to get married, I think when we get married, we gonna
Congratulations.
like, yeah, I think we gonna start a rule that I get all the gifts on my birthday, and then the day after, or maybe 2 days after, then I give them their gifts.
Why not? Why not? Christmas Eve.
They can't come before me. You gotta come.
Okay. Okay.
They gotta come after me, man. They got to.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good
But we
answer.
have Dave Bradley here, man, from Chicago. Are you born and raised in Chicago?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been here my whole freaking life. I'm ready to go, to be honest. But
Really?
yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
love Chicago, man. Every time I come down, I want to
Where are
move
you
there. Like,
from?
I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
What's that like?
Boring.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Ohio State being here, Columbus wouldn't be anything.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
a up and growing city. Like so right now we're like probably like the 14th or 15th biggest city in the United States, and probably like by 2050 they project us to be like top 10. So it's like a lot of construction, like highways, everything.
So,
Like they gentrifying all the crack houses and stuff like
okay.
that. So
Progression.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see what it'll be in the next few years, but
Interesting.
right now it's boring. It's
But yeah, man,
boring.
Chicago's cool, man. Like I said, I've been here my whole life, so just want to, see some different things. I don't think the big city is really for me.
Really? How
Yeah,
when did you figure that out?
just growing up, like not, like a kid, but like these last few years, especially, living so deep in the city, it's just like it's so busy, like,
Yeah,
and I hate busyness. I like to chill, like I don't like all that extra shit. It's a lot of rah rah rah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool for a minute. Like I go out every now and then when I'm not doing comedy, but it's after that I'm good for a while. Like I'm like cool. I ain't gotta go nowhere else for like 6 months.
Man, like my version of going out in Chicago is like going to the shore and smoking on it. That's my version of like going out. I'm
Hey,
real chill and mellow. Like,
that's you don't get no better than that.
yeah.
You don't get no better than that, man. For real.
So how many years, man, have you been doing comedy?
With this is 3 years. This is three
Okay.
years. Well, really, I mean, because I don't really count the COVID year, so really two, but three if just going from start to now.
I don't know why nobody counts the COVID years. Why don't you count the COVID years? Because I count the COVID years.
I wasn't doing comedy.
Yeah. Were you writing?
I was like I also make music, so I was like recording the EP, putting the EP out. Like fuck it, like I just do something else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't tripping. I also
Yeah.
had broke my foot like the same week COVID started, so I was chilling.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
wasn't moving around at all.
Right. Right. So you do music as well? What kind of music you do?
Rap. I try to sing. I can't sing, but I still try. So
You get in the melody, hit the little auto tune.
I don't like much auto tune.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like I can't sing, but I don't care. Like it's okay. A lot of people can't sing that sing, and they get paid a lot of money for it, so it's okay.
Yeah, man. Have you ever been to so you guys actually have festivals in Chicago. Have you ever been to like one of the festivals down there in Chicago yet?
Nah, like I said, I don't like busy shit, so
Yeah.
I stay away from festivals. Like I hate big ass crowds and shit. I'm like, nah, y'all can have that. I'm good though. Like
Yeah.
I can drive by and be like, oh, okay, look, there go such and such on stage, and just keep going where I'm going. It's too busy for me.
Yeah, I want to try out some of your guys' festivals down there. This year, my first time going to a music festival. We went to
Just
Coachella.
for Coachella, okay.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
It's in
To LA still?
yeah, it's like 2 hours outside of LA, like Indigo. Like
Okay.
it's really in the desert for real. Like it's
Is that by San Diego?
San Diego is more south, so Indigo is like more more east of
Okay.
LA. Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought like, since you like music, you probably like hit up one of the festivals or whatever. So you really a chill guy. So like
Yeah, bro.
what's your Saturdays look like if you're not doing a show?
I'm a dad, bro. Like I'm literally chilling. But like if I'm comedy is such a busy thing. Like I'm out. So
Yeah,
like if I don't have to be out, or we'll go out. Me and my girl go out and get something to eat. Go do something if we can get somebody to watch the baby. Go out do something, but you know for the most part chilling, man. Watching TV, chilling, plotting and planning for the next move.
yeah. So Dave, what got you into comedy? What made you be like, you know what, I can get up there and I can tell jokes and make some white people laugh?
That's funny. I so like comedy was never like in the front of my mind, like something I was actively thinking about. But like it was something that was just like all the way like in the back. And I'm like, maybe I could do this one day. But I never thought about pursuing it really. But I had a friend that I went to high school with. She was going to like open mics and she was posting on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, that shit look cool. Like, and I wanted to go, not even to go on stage. I just wanted to just go. Like, I've always loved stand up comedy. So um, she's like, all right, you can come, but you got to get on stage if you come. And that was it pretty much. It didn't really take much after that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like a challenge and shit. So it was like, all right, like I got to really figure this out, you know,
Right.
how I'm going to get comfortable on stage and like shit like that. So
I
it's been
noticed
a
that.
process.
Yeah, man. I noticed that a lot of people they do comedy and like music at the same time. Would you agree on how, and if so, like how does those two arts like work with one another?
Um, like it's like two separate emotions to me. Like they both feel different. They both, um, bring a different side of me out. It's like two separate sides of the brain, like left brain, right brain to me. Comedy is more. Uh, I feel like comedy for me is more like more extroverted, whereas music is a little more introverted. Like if that makes sense. Like when I'm telling jokes, like it's normally to a crowd. When I'm making a song, I'm normally in my house, like in my little studio that I have set up.
Right.
Um, so it just feels more, you know, interpersonal than like when I'm on stage talking to a whole bunch of people.
Right.
So it feels different. But I also don't do them both at the same time. Uh,
Like at all? Like if you're writing jokes, you won't write music or do music at all?
It just won't. It won't even. Like I said, it's like it's two separate sides of the brain. So it's like I can only really focus on one at a time. So like if I have a bug, like I catch a bug to just make music, I'll be making music. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm focused on. But then it's like I have seasons where I'm like, all right, I feel like telling some jokes, so I go tell some jokes.
Yeah.
But I do jokes way more than I do music.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. What is like your routine to like write a joke? Like does it just pop in your head and you just go for it, or you like literally sit down, make yourself sit down and actually think about what you're gonna write?
I've been like fighting myself on that since I started doing comedy. Like I'll have moments where I'm like I'm writing a joke every day, no matter what. Like yeah, and that's always my intention. But sometimes it just be hard for me to actually sit down and write. Like so, but I always jot shit down. Um, so ideas just pop in my head, and I just write it down real quick, boom, boom, boom. But uh, sometimes I just don't go through the process of like physically writing stuff out. When I first started, though, excuse me, when I first started, I would write my jokes out word for word, like 20 times each. Because I'm like, I do not want to forget this shit. But now I'm just like, just how do you feel today? And I just go
Yeah.
up there and do that, you know. So it's just it's been a process, and I just been trying different shit, you know, allowing myself to try different stuff when I get too comfortable. Like, oh, okay, so just don't don't bring your notebook at all. Like, just trying shit, you know, see what I can do, see what I can't do.
Are you actually writing a notebook with your jokes?
Yeah, yeah, I
I
write.
I I
Mhm.
cannot do that. I usually write my jokes like in
On
my
the phone.
actual phone, yeah, my notepad, because it's just my mind thinks too fast, and I'll be like I'll forget like what I was about to say or do.
Yeah, no, I'll take it from like I'll jot it down in the notes like app, and then I'll say, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna sit down with my actual notebook and write it down and organize it. You know,
Yeah,
like I enjoy the process of writing. It's therapeutic, but it's also nerve wracking. So I fight myself on doing it.
I've actually seen people like lose their joke book. Have you ever lost your joke book?
Fuck no, I got them all. They all over here somewhere. Like hell no, I've never. I'm not that careless.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not that careless. Nah, you got to. You're gonna have to work a little harder than that.
So you're saying like sometimes you'll like what they say right on stage?
No,
Okay.
no. That's something I'm like, you know, trying to get to. Uh, but like I said, like I'll have some ideas in my head, uh, and just go from there. I mean, I guess some people might call it writing on stage, but I don't see it that way. Like it's planned in my head, but in the moment, certain things come out, you know, in the situation where like, oh, okay, now I can add that. So I don't know. Maybe I guess that is considered writing on stage. I don't know, but like I said, I'll jot something down in my notes. Then I'll get my notebook out, one of my many notebooks. Like I have like an obsession for notebooks. I don't know. Like so I need seven different notebooks. I need one for my budget, one for ideas, one for jokes, one for
Yeah.
t-shirt design. Like I need them completely separate so I don't have to be like, oh damn, I'm running out of paper and then everything is just mixed and jumbled up. But yeah, writing is great. It's a headache, but I need to do it. If I
Yeah.
don't do it, then I don't know where my jokes are.
Yeah.
Right?
So when I write on stage, like sometimes I'll just like be like, I don't know what I'm saying today. It usually happens like, okay, it usually happens if I'm too high or like if I'm too high or if I just really don't feel like it.
Hmm.
Like I know that sounds bad, but some days like I'll be like exhausted and I really don't feel like
Yeah,
doing comedy. But I know like it's like, all right, I'm gonna do it today because at the end of the day, there may be a time where I'm doing this full time and I'm exhausted. So what are you
yeah,
gonna do? You're not gonna show up. So I make myself go and I'll be like, I'm not gonna tell no jokes. I'm just gonna I'll look in the audience and kind of like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this person, go here, here. So I'll kind of like do that sometimes, or just like, and that'll be like my version of like crowd work, I guess.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get up there and just I don't know, throw what they say, throw caution to the wind or whatever. Just like, all right, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna prepare anything. I'm just gonna go up there and see what happens. Like that's fun to me.
It is fun. It is. I haven't done it at an actual. Have I done it? No, I haven't done it at a comedy club yet. Like that's my next
Mm.
goal. My next thing to push myself is to actually do it at a comedy club. Um, but yeah, I do it like almost every week. Well, I do it every week. Sometimes like every time I go to a mic, I'll do it. Like just
Yeah,
keep that tool sharp.
just fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Got to just try it all. You never know what you'll enjoy or what add to your repertoire.
Yeah. Can you spell repertoire?
Repertoire.
I wouldn't know. I was just asking.
Oh shit, damn. I want to spell it being sixth grade, and I keep that. I keep that. I keep it on me. You know what I'm saying?
So what made you go from telling jokes to saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and produce my own show." Looks like you got something great down there with the Corner Classic, man. It looks fun.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Nah, man. I've just always been like fuck it, I'll just do it myself. Like that's just always been the situation. So anytime I've ever like tried to count on other people to help or put me in certain positions, it always fucked me over in the end. So I was like, aha, the Corner Classic. Like, I know how I can get on stage every month. I can book my own show, and then I'll have the best show in the city because I feel like I know comedy the best or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just like I have a great eye for talent and just a quality production, whereas some of my contemporaries can't say the same. Um, yeah, so that's why pretty much just trying to just keep myself booked and busy and just trying to build the biggest show I can, not just for me but for comedians I fuck with also.
How is it different from where you started with Corner Classics to how they are now, the shows?
uh Man, it's how is it different? It's just like I've changed venues, so that's one thing that's different. um but now I'm really just trying to build it more now into like a brand, but not just a comedy brand. You know what I mean? Like I put a shirt out like a month ago. I'm dropping some hoodies this winter. Uh, like I don't want to just do comedy shows for the Corner Classic. Like, so, like I said, I release music, so I do that through my Corner Classic brand. So just building it to more than just like, oh, that's why when I told you earlier, I'm like, nah, that's not just a comedy show. Like it's the Corner Classic. Like it's his own thing. Like, but we also do comedy shows. We also host other shit. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than just comedy.
So what exactly would you how would you describe the brand of Corner Classic if somebody was to come in Chicago and didn't know exactly what it is, but it looks interesting? How would you describe
It's
that
the
brand?
it's the altogether. It's just the perfect place to kick it. You know what I mean? Like all my comedy shows, like everybody's after the show is like, yo, like this was amazing. Like I just felt like I was around family. Like the comedians are great, of course, but like the environment I set is such a relaxing environment. People come through and like you just feel like you at home, and that's really what the Corner Classic is to me. The name Corner Classic came from the EP I released when I was sitting at home during the pandemic called Kitchen Corner Classic. So I recorded my EP and everything in my kitchen corner in my old apartment. So from there, the Corner Classic was born. It's like that's what it is. Just uh, one doing it on my own, uh, but building it from, no excuses. Not like, oh, I don't have the perfect equipment or whatever. Just getting it out the mud, really. You know what I mean? So that's what the Corner Classic is.
What made you? I don't know what room you was at before, but what made you switch it to the red room?
The initial place I was at, Blank House, they just moved, so that was it. Like I love that place, and I love all the people involved at Blank House tremendously. So that's the only reason. No other reason than that. The Red Room is nice also though.
Yeah, man, I love the Red Room. It's like one of those. It was definitely. I mean, it's definitely an independent club, but I love like those because we don't have any here in Columbus. Like we literally only have like one comedy club, and
Hmm.
we only got one comedy club. And as I travel and start going to these different cities, I'm noticing that these different cities they'll have like their major comedy clubs, but then they'll have independent comedy clubs. So the more I see them, the more I have a desire to have like my own independent comedy club. And out of like the three that I've been to, that one is the most like polished and the bathrooms are
Nice.
clean. Like that, like that's what sold me on it.
I don't even think I went into the bathroom. That's funny though. That's hilarious. Yeah, nah, the Red Room is great. The last show I did there was the first show I did there. Um, and I had did another comedian, shout out to Baby Horchata. He had booked me on a show at the Red Room like maybe a week or two prior to my show. And that was my first time ever being there. But I had booked the show before I ever even stepped foot in there. So just going off pictures and just seeing other comedians do shows there, I'm like, oh, it must be something decent, and everybody's coming here. So it's been a good relationship so far. So but we always build it.
Do you don't gotta tell people exactly where you live, but do you live around? Because when I went there, they was like, you went all the way up north to do a mic. I was like, I don't know. I'm not from here. Like,
Yeah, nah. The Red Room is not necessarily close to me, but it's not like completely out of distance either. It's probably
yeah.
like 45 minutes away.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah.
And sometimes that's annoying. So
Yeah,
I I
cause
keep that
like
in mind.
cause like here, man, like the mics that I go to, like there I live downtown in Columbus. So
Okay.
most of the mics are downtown for the most part, or like around campus, which isn't too far from me either. There's only one
Ohio
that's
State.
like, yeah, Ohio State.
Okay.
So there's only like one that's like super far. And some days I'll be like, do you really want to go? Or some days I'll be like, okay, are we going into the office at work? Because if
Mm.
we not, we gonna say this gas for the mic.
Well, how far is it?
uh if I take the highway, it's probably like 10 to 12 minutes from me. But if I take the street, which I normally do, I can get there in like 20.
He said like it was far. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He said it's 15 minutes up the street.
Yeah, it's like for me, that's far. Whereas I can get to a mic that's downtown in like
Right.
7 minutes.
It's funny.
That's
Saving
kind of
7 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Man, I remember when I first started, like all the mics were like I wasn't staying in the city at the time. I was staying in the south suburbs at the time. And all the mics were like on the north side. So it was like 45, 50-minute drives to mics. Like then you pull up, it's a lottery style open mic. So you might get chose or you might not. So now you done drove all the way up here and you ain't even get chose for the mic. Now you thinking violent, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. Now I got to drive my ass back home. Like, I'm like, it's
it's
okay. It's all part of the process.
and see that's
So
why I asked because here we don't do lottery. We don't do
I
it.
hate it. I normally don't go to lottery open mics anymore because I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, and I've heard
I got here first. Gotta do my set, go home, bro.
and I've heard stories where sometimes people will like draw people's name out the lottery and then be like, I don't want to do it. And then like throw the name away. And that would piss me off. I
Yeah,
would
see,
get this.
I can't do it. I got here first. Like I'm always one of the first people to pull up to the open mic because I'm like I want to go in the first five and go get back in the bed. Uh,
Oh, I am deep on going on the first five. Like I put like I don't know if y'all can make requests, but I put early. Like let me go. Everybody know like Ty going
yeah,
like in top five because like I mean I don't got no kids and me and my girl we don't live together. However, I do got a job where I got to be up at like
that's enough.
5:04.
That's
So
enough.
like I can't be sitting here kicking and chilling with y'all all
Yeah, like hell no. And I'd be like, I would love to kick it with y'all and develop these fantastic relationships. But I've been at work all day. Like I
day.
got, I get home, I gotta change diapers and chase a baby around the house. Like I really don't have time to hang out. Like y'all are wonderful people. uh, but it's not the time.
Yeah.
Not the
So in
time.
what ways, because this is something that we're kind of similar going through, in what ways have you like found ways to like connect with other people and network, seeing that, you know, you do got a pretty adult life at home? Because every comic, not every comic has an adult life. You know, some of them got.
That's a fact.
I told my girlfriend this one time. I told my girlfriend, I was like, listen, I love these comics in the city and whatnot, but what they don't understand is that I have a regular professional job. Like I can't I can't just like show up late and it's okay. Like,
I
no,
got
I get
shit to
points.
do.
You know what I'm saying? So like how do you find the time to like network and build these relationships? Because it is important.
It just has to be organic, man. Like I don't I don't I don't force relationships in no way, shape, or form. Uh, so if I see you at a mic, uh, and I thought you were dope or whatever, I'm gonna show love. You know what I mean? So that goes a long way. Like one of my closest friends now, TJ Stokes. Uh, I had went to a show at a bar called My Buddies on the North Side, and like I think he headlined it, or I don't remember. I know he did a set. It was my first time seeing him. This is like maybe uh, 5 or 6 months into me doing comedy. And like he just killed it. And I'm like, yo, that was fucking amazing. Like the room was just like shaking. I'm like, this is amazing. So I hit him up on Instagram. I'm like, yo, your set was fire. Like, and shit from there, we just been like, that's my brother. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shit has got to be organic. I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not, necessarily an opportunist. Like I'm gonna create my own opportunity so I don't have to try to, make these fake ass relationships so I can get put on certain shows. Like it's not that serious to me. Like comedy is very serious to me, but fake relationships, that's just not my ministry. So it's not my ministry. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that over here.
That's funny, man. Because I tell people all the time, being a stepdad isn't my ministry. I know they're looking for him, but I don't got it in me to do. But nah, that is facts. Because as comics, I think we're all weird, but some are like a little more weird, and they will like try to force. I go like to every mic with these headphones in my ear because it's like that's a part of my routine. Just listen to music before I get on stage, and like some people will like be like on the side, just like awkwardly looking. Like you could tell they want to say something to you, but they don't want to like interrupt you. And I'm like, please don't do
Please don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I normally like I'm not antisocial, but like I said, like I don't I don't force shit. Like some people are definitely weird. Some people are too weird.
it.
Like some people like I just energy is important. Like I can feel it. Like I really don't want to. I'm not even gonna do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's okay. Like we can coexist in these places and not all be best friends. Like it's cool. Like outside of comedy, a lot of y'all wouldn't hang out together. You know what I mean? I have a few people who I met through comedy that like I said, I consider family. Uh, but most of them, we just happen to do comedy in the same places.
yeah. So for a bigger city like Chicago, I know it's a little different for like small towns like Columbus. How do you guys, besides like the lottery for like open mics, how do you guys get on those big stages like the Laugh Factory or Zanies or like the Improv? Like, what's that process or step like? Because I've seen you do a couple shows there. So like, just how was that process like?
It's just knowing people, pretty much. You on the outside looking in, you think it's like some big grandiose, like not hazing, but like it's this big. You got to be such and such. Like, no, you just got to know certain people, and then you get in the door, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is just regular shit now. All right, like it ain't as big and grandiose as you think it is. You just see like, oh, these are the steps to perform at these places. So it's like, okay, I find more joy in booking my own shows. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Like out here, it's a little different. They're starting to build back relationships with the local comics here, but for a minute they were not giving us a chance.
they
Like,
were just booking like the touring people.
yeah, and if they had somebody, that was it. And then other than that, they just had like people that was working there for years just go up and tell the same jokes and stuff. But they're trying to mend that gap. I mean, we have some talented people here. We do got an actual national touring headliner, so that's good. But yeah, it's a little different here. It's a little
Yeah.
different, but
So do y'all like how? What's y'all like response to that?
I mean, some of it, to be honest, is kind of politics. You know, you gotta. It's kind of like who you know. You know, if they rock with you, they rock with you. If they don't, they don't. For Black people, it's kind of different because we don't have that relationship yet.
Mhm.
Um, I've seen a couple Black people host at the Funny Bone, um,
Okay. Okay, that's okay. Funny
but
bone.
but we literally talk about like one person, and he had to, from my understanding, book gigs in a different state. He was
Hmm.
booking gigs in New York, and I don't know if that's what made them pay attention or whatever the case may be, but we have started this year like doing like an open mic showcase, and that
Okay.
kind of helps, but you don't get like no feature spot or no hosting gig. But they have starting to look at like certain comics that come to that showcase for like hosting gigs and stuff like that. It's a lot. It's a lot of politics. You just gotta. It's a
Fuck
lot
them.
of hoop and holler.
Fuck them. Like I said, just do it myself.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of doing it yourself, can you talk about like the I don't know if you've felt that whatever for me producing my own shows, can you talk about like the
the
stress,
pain, the agony,
pressure, and then not only that, you got to go up and tell jokes. It's like my anxiety is through the roof right now.
man, like, oh man, like the
I think we lost them.
the next show
Uh,
is 2 days from now. Uh, so it's like in the final, the final stretch, and it's just like so much everything. Like, oh, I want to sell some more tickets. Oh, okay, let me. This person like, oh, I'm coming. I was like, oh, I don't know if you're really coming or not. Like, oh, okay, I can't really take your word. I need to see it on the Eventbrite. Like, you know what I mean? I need to see tangible evidence of these are the number of people who are gonna be here. So I'm thinking about that. I'm having like issues with comics and shit. Like a guy agreed to do the show and just like now I got ghosted. I'm like, okay, like I thought we was adults, but maybe not. Uh, so fuck it. You know what I mean? So there's just all type of shit. I'm just like, these are just moments in that make the story even greater in the end. So just take my nicks and shit as I go. I just guard myself, but I'm taking my punches though.
Man, that pressure of like having people come because they'll say, "Yeah, I'll be there," and then like, but yeah, I didn't see you paid through the Eventbrite, so until I see that, I'm not gonna really believe you.
I can't take your word, and because everybody word is, oh yeah, I'm coming. I swear to God, I'm coming. And then the show get here, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't take it personal. Like the shit be funny
Yeah.
to me, but like people start like ducking you and shit. I think it's funny. It's like, bro, it's not that serious.
The worst part I hate about it though is dang, the worst part I hate about throwing shows is I forgot because I'm high. Not even gonna lie to you. But throwing shows is stressful all by itself. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be blazing before
There you go. I'm up there with you.
but like throwing shows though, you can always expect for one thing to at least go wrong. I remember this one time. Well, probably I did it two times. I had to like probably can't say it. I had to sneak alcohol in just so I can
Okay.
make some money. Like, because I was like, no, we're going to make money.
You
Like, I
gotta make
know,
something.
yeah, I
Sell
know
some
you're not.
drinks.
I know you're not like allowing people, but this is what I'm going to do because I'm black and this is what we do.
I gotta
So it's
flip
like
it somehow.
find us those different avenues. Like, what kind of different avenues and hoops did you have to go through to make your show like a success? One time or a couple times that you had to do it.
Um, well, like I'm investing, my own money into it. So having other sources of income outside of comedy definitely helps. Um, but like I normally have vendors there. Um, so I make money off of that. Uh, and just other things like now, like I said, I'm selling like apparel, not merch, but apparel. Um, so that's another source of income. So just finding ways to create this income to continue to build awareness around the show so people can want to buy tickets. So they're like, oh damn, I did miss this one. Oh damn, he doing another one. Maybe I should go to
Right.
this. Oh, the Corner Classic. What's that? The Corner Classic. Everything he says is the Corner Classic. What the fuck is he talking about? And eventually you get interested enough and now we become family. So
What kind of vendors are you bringing to the shows? Is it something related to whatever show you? Okay, yeah. So let
but
me tell you
not actual smokes though. I mean, they bring it, but you can't smoke in the place. But they normally have edibles and shit, so cookies and lemonade and shit. So we have a good time for sure.
Tell me why, like, I've been to Chicago like several times, right?
Mhm.
And didn't even like think to go to a dispensary. I always bring my own, which is so like even though the dispensary weed costs more, but it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you
Bruh,
drinking?
nah, bruh, not you're not supposed to look at Chicago like that. Like, do that for LA and shit like that. Like Chicago weed not that good to be like, yo, I gotta go to the dispense. Nah, fam. Like I know 17 niggas I can call like in a 2 mile radius with just the same or even better
Let me
for half the
see.
price.
So this year we went to LA, Detroit, and Chicago, and we tried dispensaries in all three.
Okay.
Mm, Chicago would definitely. Chicago would definitely be last. Like it wasn't like it
Yeah,
was
like,
bad, but like
bruh.
the first time we did it was when we was in LA.
Mhm.
So like my expectations was like that,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
I didn't realize every dispensary wasn't the same. So
Which one
like
did you go to in LA?
so I went to like this hole in the wall. When I tell you it was a hole in the wall, I mean it was a hole in the wall.
You
Like
got what you asked for. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't even know what part of LA it was at. I don't even remember what it was called. So it was
I thought
so
it
when you
was
walk in there,
Skid
it don't
Row.
when you walk in there, it didn't say dispensary or anything. It just had like a cardboard
Look at the trap
thing in the
house.
door, you know.
You're at the trap
So
house.
yeah, so we go in there and she was like, you could tell she didn't know anything. She's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Shit, I don't know." Like, but I already knew like what kind of strains I wanted. So we got like OG Skywalker, which by far is one of my faves now.
That's classic. Yeah,
That will like you're not
that's
too high,
classic.
you good, everything good. So we did that. But when we went out to Coachella, there was one like down the street from Coachella. It was called
Okay.
21 plus dispensary or something like that. I will ever forever shout this dispensary out
Okay.
because think of the biggest Walmart. It was bigger than that. Like I didn't know what to
Can you
get
pour
in
me some
there.
water?
Well, huh?
Can you pour me in yours? Thank
And then we that's the first time I tried Khalifa Kush.
you. Okay.
And I
Hey,
was just like,
that's some shit.
expectations, yeah,
Yeah, that's
expectations
some
was
good shit.
high. So when we went to Detroit, though, they had some good stuff too. They had some good stuff, and the prices was cool because we went like Fourth of July weekend. So,
Oh, they had some
but yeah,
sales and shit.
yeah, but when we went to Chicago, it was cool. The pre rolls, now the pre rolls, you good with the pre rolls, you'll
Yeah.
be okay with the pre rolls. But other than the pre rolls, the edibles I was taking at the same time, I was like smoking, which was dumb. So then, like, I only had like two left. So when I came home, like them things hit, and I was like, "Why didn't I get this at the beginning? Like, this is stupid." So that's my
Dude,
dispensary experience with you guys that actually legalize it.
we me and my girl took a trip to LA during the pandemic. Um, in the summertime. It's probably September, August, something. Um, and we go to the dispensary. We go to Cookies, go to the cookie store, and I got some of the Andretti OG currency weed. And I'm like you said, the expectations like you excited and shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, this currency, this my guy. Like, I'm like, all right, bet. Like, found me some. I do something. This something I normally never do. Like when I get like some not special weed, but like some weed I'm excited about, I'll buy uh I'll buy like one backwood and smoke out of it, and just as like it's like a Pepsi or some shit with your dinner. Like it's just an extra little pop. You know what I'm saying? But so we smoke or whatever. She smoked hers, I smoke mine, and like we go to where do we go to the beach, and it just went downhill. From there, we was having so much fun, dude. Like we was like jumping in the water, like this, like some movie shit. We just splashing this big waves and shit, having a great time. We get back on the sand. I'm just like, man, getting hot. I just, it's already 115 outside, but LA heat a little different.
Yeah.
I started feeling hot, like sweating and shit. I'm like, I think we need to go. I think we need to go. Like, this thing I know, I'm throwing up and shit.
Oh
We gotta
dang.
we gotta walk a country mile to the car because Venice Beach is the shore is very big, so it feel like it's a 35-minute walk, 2 blocks
Dang.
away because I can barely walk at this point. Um, I'm just looking at my feet, just making sure I don't fall at this point. So it's like one, two, one, two, and man, that was yeah. So that was an experience for sure.
Well, I would definitely not be trying that with you if it's doing all that. I don't think I'm
It
okay.
wasn't the weed. It was I was dehydrated. Like it was hot as fuck. I think that
Oh,
was like maybe our that was our second day out there. The first day is a whole different story. Um, but the second day we went to Roscoe's and got some chicken and waffles and shit.
did you like Roscoe's?
The one I went to was fantastic. I know all of them ain't the same, but the one I
Which
went
one
to
did you go to?
I I can tell you if you pull up like the maps and shit, like
Yeah.
multiple choice, I could pick the right one.
Was it by
But
like a movie studio? Oh, okay.
I told you we had the weed. I don't remember
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
details.
Because
Like I
we
just
went to Roscoe's too. We went to the one in West Hollywood. It was like right next to like the Netflix like headquarters.
no, it definitely wasn't next to no headquarters.
Okay, 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 okay.
It definitely went next to a headquarters. It wasn't in the hood, but it wasn't by no headquarters. I know that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it was good
So
as hell though. I was outside with my shirt off, eating chicken at 10 o'clock in the morning. Like I was having a good time. Like this is the life I want to live. Like,
man, LA different, man. LA is just
I
cool
enjoy it.
breeze, man. Yeah, LA
I
is
enjoy it.
I love LA, man. I love
I would
LA.
live in Cali, but not LA. Too busy. Like I said, I don't want to do the busy shit. But if
Yeah,
I could find like a chill spot, and if it take me 4 hours to get to LA, then so be it. Like,
yeah, yeah. So what are like when you think of like comedy or just like being an artist in general, I'll call you an artist, like what pinnacle do you want to reach with your art form? As far as like comedy, do you want to do this full time? Like,
yeah, 100%. Like Picture Perfect, the corner classic is so big that like it exists on its own. Um, where I don't have to be there. Uh, and I can go off and do shows elsewhere if need be, touring and things. But I also want to tour with the Corner Classic. So come to Ohio and book a Corner Classic there, and boom, like I get recommendations from you and people that you mess with, and we put a show together, and boom, and just keep building it nationwide. Really, Chicago is great, but it's bigger than Nino Brown. You know what I mean?
right,
So just expanding always and building to the point where I can chill, but it's still operating. You know what I mean? Like Dave Bradley, the creative, can chill and just be a dad, which is really what I want to do. Like I don't want to have to do all this extra shit. Like, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like I enjoy doing comedy though. But like I always say, Picture Perfect is like the Bernie Mac show. Like during the day, he just with his kids and shit, and then at nighttime he go tell jokes and that's it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's Picture Perfect, the Bernie
Nah,
Mac show.
nah, I agree. I agree. Speaking of the Bernie Mac show, man, I think that show, when I look back at it, I'm like, how in the world was this show ever on TV? Because
It's fantastic.
he really on there talking about beating kids. Like,
Beating kids, cussing them out, all type of stuff. Like shout out to Bernie Mac, man, Chicago legend.
would you like to have your own sitcom?
Uh, I want my own show, but not a sitcom.
Okay,
Like
okay,
I think I would want to do like maybe like some drama type shit. Yeah.
okay.
I don't want niggas crying, nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? Just a more serious role type of thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I would write for a sitcom though.
Speaking of Bernie Mac, I meant to ask you this too. This is one of the questions that I wanted to ask you while I was on here. Somebody has to have like an hour footage of him doing comedy for like a special? I've never seen a Bernie Mac special. Is there a Bernie Mac special like on bootleg in Chicago or something?
If it is, I ain't came across dude who sell them yet. You know what I mean? Or and at that time being in 2000, it wasn't out. I mean, it's shit on YouTube. Might be 45 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. But it is. I'm sure somebody. I mean, obviously he's done hours before, so somebody got that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like a specific, you know, uh, intentional. Like this is a special.
man. I would love to.
Sadly.
I would love to see an hour of Bernie Mac. That would be hilarious.
That's something we just gonna have to get when we transition to the next round. You know what I'm saying? He up there doing all type of specials and shit. So we gonna have to experience that the next one.
Speaking of specials, man, what is like one stage that you're like, I want to get on this stage, and when I feel like I get on this stage, I've made it. And the reason why I say that is because comedy shows are no longer being just done, in comedy clubs. Sometimes
Hmm.
being performed on the roof. Sometimes they're being performed outside. Sometimes they're even being performed in stadiums. So, what's one stage that you want to hit to be like, that's the one that I know I made it?
The United Center,
Okay.
the United Center, and like I don't even like see myself as like a stadium, arena comic or whatever. Like I like the intimate shit, um, but just to be like, yeah, motherfucker. Like that's for one of them. Like I've been in a very vengeful feeling lately, so it's coming out of me. But just like yeah, like I did that type of thing. Not
Yeah.
even for anybody else, but just for me. Like motherfucker, you was right all along. You know, sometimes you gotta remind yourself like you was right, motherfucker. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So United Center, yeah, definitely. I don't get too like excited about like stages and shit. Like it don't really matter. Like we can be in a fucking uh, gymnasium somewhere. Like if the acoustics is right, as long as we get our message across, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So when you produce your shows, man, how? Because I know it's all pushed by you, but there are some helping hands. One person that helped me is my girl. Does your girl help you with like, producing that, or helping you with like giving you ideas on like merchandise and stuff like that?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Ideas are exchanged on both ends because she also has a business. So we help each other in ways that we can. Um, yeah, but aside from that, yeah, just me, just me. Like I don't really consult people about shit. Like, I just I have my ideas. I figure them out how I figure them out, and boom, present it to everybody else, and then you come along for the journey.
So this is like a black entrepreneurship household we got here in Chicago. You guys are
Hell
like the,
yeah,
the creative Huxtables.
hell yeah. No Jello pudding involved though. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, man. You gotta have a way to do it yourself. Like either you exchanging your time for money, or exchanging your money for time. So you gotta figure out what side of the coin you want to be on, and keep going from there.
Yeah, yeah. So now that we're at year um 3, a lot of people always say like when you hit that 10-year mark, that's when things will start happening. Do you focus on the years, or do you just focus on just becoming better?
Man, like I ain't thinking about no 10 years. Like I like tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want tomorrow to be the day. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about tomorrow. I ain't thinking about 10 years from now. I'm like the next one. Like okay, like this show. Okay, cool. But the next one, and then the next one. Like I'm just focused on one thing at a time. But
Yeah.
like I don't think some people are like, oh, it took me 25 years to get my. I'm like I ain't got time for all that. Like I need to check tomorrow. So let's expedite this process.
I always hear people talk about like the rules of comedy and stuff like that, and I think it is important to know the rules. Once you know them, you can break them and whatnot. But to me, like, everything's in God's timing. But for me, 10 years is 10 years too long. Like I just like I'm all
10
for the
years, like that's like a master's degree, a doctorate and
yeah.
shit. Like 10 years, like nah.
I'm all for the hustle and the grind, but I feel like when I hear numbers like that, it can kind of get stuck in your head, and that's kind of like that's what they say. You know, I've
Yeah,
seen people that's blow book like tours and stuff like that just off of like 1 or 2 years. So like when I
yeah.
see stuff like that, I just kind of feel like if you want it to happen sooner, you got to do something different. That's my motto. So that's kind of like what I'll be banking on when I
Yeah,
hear things like
you 10 years and shit. Like we see it every day. People blowing up off of some whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever idea they came up with. Like you see it every day. So there's no reason to be like, oh well, it's gonna take me at least 10. Like, nah, nigga, like it could be tomorrow. Like it could be today. You could finish this interview right now, check your Instagram, and a reel you did, it just took off, and now you know where you want to be. So who knows? You just gotta just, keep your head down, and like I said, take your punches, but make it
that.
through the fight.
That's one hole I'm trying to understand is algorithms. I still can't understand. I get
Mm.
so it's a whole full-time job trying to be a content creator.
I don't even like to subscribe to that title either, because what is it even? Like I don't. I'm not a content creator. Like because that's such a stressful job to me. Like
Yeah.
because you just making stuff like that just seems like a lot. Like I can post comedy clips and shit. Like these are real life moments. Like it's not a manufactured clip for Instagram or whatever. Like this is a real moment between me and the crowd,
Right.
and I'm just sharing it with the internet. But I do, I make like them stupid ass TikToks and reels sometimes. But lately I ain't felt like dancing and shit. So I'm kidding. I never danced on them, but it ain't felt like doing none of the little skits or sketches and shit.
Yeah, yeah. I can't do the skits. That's just too much. Uh that's that's too much. That'll raise my anxiety because then I'll be thinking like a director, like make sure the angle right. Like it's just too much.
But
So I can't get into it, man. Any advice before we go? Like any advice that you would have for anybody that's starting out with comedy or anybody that's still going on that journey? Any advice that you would have for any comics listener?
my advice to any comedians, old, new, just pondering or whatever, is to just keep going. Just keep going. You'll figure it out eventually. Uh, and you know, don't fake relationships. Don't do it. Just mind your business and work on what you're trying to work on, and everything else will make sense in the end.
Before we go, Dave, man, can you tell people why they should listen to Comedians in Bed?
You should listen to Comedians in Bed because it's the dopest podcast out right now with all the hottest comedians in the country, hosted by Ty. So you should always check that out because that's always a good recipe.
Good enough reason for me, man. Dave, man, this guy right here, he's doing big things in Chicago, producing his own show, taking matters into his own hands. I'm so glad that, man, you say yes. I appreciate it. I know it can be a little weird having somebody just hop in your DMs like that, especially these days. You never
But
know.
I appreciate open communication all the time. So please feel free to hit me up or whatever, and it's all good.
Before we go, Dave, man, I always like to do this. Where can people find you at? Especially if they want to like hop on one of your shows or whatever. Or do you do that type of thing? Like if somebody like send you a clip of their work, you put them on a show?
I'm not opposed to it. I'll say that. Like I haven't done it because I have so many people that I already have in mind. But if somebody send me a clip and I like it, why not? I'm not opposed to giving those opportunities to comedians and shit. But I have to think you're funny. Like you can't just be like, oh, I got 30,000 followers. Like I really don't give a fuck. So. Um, like, I have to think you're good because this is the product that I'm presenting to people. And just like,
Right,
oh,
right,
he just book any fucking body. No. Um, so yeah, you can find me on Instagram at the dot Lord Dave, or YouTube. I've been pushing my YouTube a lot more. This is the Lord Dave also. Um, Yeah, that's pretty much where to find me at, man. Don't try to find me nowhere else. So that's it.
Dave Bradley, everybody from Chicago. Dave, I
I
appreciate you.
appreciate you, brother.